Calling to order the regular meeting of the Wheeling Plan Commission for Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to
the United States of America.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Riles.
Here.
Commissioner Meyer is absent with prior notice. Commissioner Sprague is here. Commissioner Smart.
Here.
Commissioner Heiken.
Here.
Chairman Johnson.
Here. Steve, do we have any changes to the agenda this evening?
No changes.
All right. And I don't believe we have any citizens' concerns or comments, and no consent items. So moving right along, our first docket is PSU 25-0009, request for special use to permit a recreation and instruction facility for private field hockey skills training for Starvue Field Hockey LLC at 190 Messner Drive. Mr. Secretary.
Starvue Field Hockey LLC, 766 Prospect Avenue, Winnetka, Illinois, 60093. Leasee is seeking special use approval pursuant to Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19.10, use regulations and associated sections in order to permit a recreation and instruction facility, private field hockey skills training located at 190 Messner Drive, which is zoned I3 General Industrial. A special use as defined in the zoning code is a use of parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to the potential for negative impacts on surrounding properties. In order to be considered for a special use, a petitioner is required to demonstrate their testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the request meets the standards of the village code, including but not limited to how the proposed use will not damage the enjoyment or use of the surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that the request meets the standards for a special use as established in Title 19. The commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you. Steve, anything from the staff on this before we have the petitioner come up?
Just a real brief summary as noted that the request is for a special use for a recreational and instruction facility to operate an indoor training facility dedicated for skill development of small groups for specifically field hockey. The facility will be used exclusively for training purposes. It's essentially for private use. It will not be open to the general public, so there won't be any games or tournaments or parties or large gatherings, anything of that nature. In review of the special use standards, staff is recommending approval of the request, subject to 4 conditions as stated in the staff report.
Thank you. And the petitioner, I assume, is here. Come on up. Public hearing, so I need to swear you in. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth.
Yes, I do.
And state your name and address for the record.
Patrick Ronan, 766 Prospect Avenue, Winnetka, Illinois, 60093.
Thank you. And tell us about your project.
Okay, thank you. I have a few minutes of comments in terms of background that I hope answer any questions the Plan Commission may have. Good evening, members of the Plan Commission and village staff. My name is Patrick Ronan. I'm here to speak to docket number PSU 25-0009, request for special use to permit a recreational instructional facility for Starvue Field Hockey at 190 Messner Drive in Wheeling. I'm joined this evening by Katie Beach, who's the director of the Northbrook-based Windy City Field Hockey Club, the local travel field hockey club that develops the skills for young girls throughout the Chicagoland area, provides them with an opportunity to compete on a national level. In terms of background, I'm a father of 2. My youngest, Reese, age 14, plays for one of Katie's Windy City teams. She loves the sport. It's become a part of her identity. In terms of Katie's background, In addition to being a wife and the mother of 3 extraordinary girls, she was a member of the USA National Field Hockey Team from 1994 through 2004, captained the squad in 2003 and 2004, and was named the USA Field Hockey Association Player of the Year in 2000 and 2003. She was a member of the 1996 Olympic team that placed 5th at the Atlanta Games. Katie's a 1997 graduate of the University of Maryland, where she played 4 seasons, was a 2-time captain, and a first-team All-American in 1994 and 1996. Not only did Katie excel on the field, she excelled in the classroom. She was a Dean's List student, an academic All-American, and a member of the Omicron Delta Kappa Leadership Society. After graduation, Katie served as an assistant coach at the University of Virginia, the University of Maryland, and then became the head coach at Columbia University, where in 4 years, she took the program from a 1-16 record to a successful 11-6 record in the competitive Ivy League Conference. For her accomplishments and contributions to the sport, Katie has been recognized by being inducted into the United States Field Hockey Association Hall of Fame, the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame, the University of Maryland Hall of Fame, and the Wilson High School Hall of Fame. It's safe for me to say that I don't know anyone who is in as many Hall of Fames as Katie, and rightfully so. As some of you may know, field hockey is a popular sport on the East Coast, specifically in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, but continues to be somewhat of a niche sport in the Midwest. There are no local leagues, as is the case with other sports such as soccer, baseball, softball, basketball, and hockey. Due to the ever-increasing popularity in youth sports, Windy City competes with all these other sports for practice facilities in the area, which becomes even more challenging in the winter months. In an effort to supplement the existing practice schedule for girls who play for Windy City, approval of the special use permit would allow us to utilize the space at 190 Messner Drive for specialized individual and small group field hockey skills training. There will be no games or tournaments conducted at this facility. Field hockey is played at the international and collegiate level, primarily on a specialized surface called polygrass, a high-performance playing surface that is designed for speed, control, and consistency. On the East Coast, field hockey is played on this type of surface or a similar surface at most youth levels, in addition to high school and collegiately. There is only one such surface in Illinois at Northwestern University, and soon to be a second, which is being installed this summer at New Trier High School in Northfield. The facility at 190 Messner Drive will have a polygrass surface installed to allow the Windy City girls the opportunity to train on the same surface that is used for national club competition that Windy City teams can participate in, Division I colleges, and international competition. The opportunity to train year-round on this surface will level the playing field for our girls, no pun intended, especially those who aspire to play at the Division I college level and represent our country on the U.S. national team like Katie has done. The true intention of this effort is to provide a private space that we can call our own. This will be utilized by young girls for specialized training and individual training only. We make note of and will abide by the village staff's recommendations for the space. A minimum of 1 employee shall be on site at all times when the facility is in use. The facility shall be used exclusively for personal field hockey training. No unrelated activities, parties, or events shall be permitted. All activities shall be conducted entirely within the indoor facility, and a wheeling sign permit shall be required prior to the installation of any exterior signage at the subject property, subject to the requirements of Title 21 signs. We plan to have a security system installed that will require key fob access. The security system will be equipped with cameras to allow us to monitor the facility to ensure its intended use and safety of the individuals training there. I would like to reiterate that there are no proposed changes to the exterior of the building or the site, and the majority of the proposed business operations would occur outside of the standard daytime operations of the surrounding industrial uses. Finally, I would like to thank the village staff, Marcy, Daisy, Connie, and Ross, amongst others, who've been a pleasure to work with in preparing the special use permit application and educating us on the village's process. With that, I hope this provides the necessary background for the Plan Commission to move forward with the staff recommendations. If there are any questions I can answer at this time, I'd be happy to do so.
All right, well, we'll see if we have any. Commissioner Riles, let's start down there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Evening.
Thank you. Excellent breakdown, excellent report. I really appreciate all the detailed information you provided as far as what you're pursuing here. I just have, a simple question. There's just going to be a minimum of 5 girls during the training process, or can you elaborate how that's going to look?
Sure. So most places in the area that conduct any sort of youth sports are open truss buildings. So there are no support beams, that divide up in the space. It's not the case with 190 Messner. This is a warehouse space. So there are support columns 42 feet apart within the facility that really restrict the use. So the intention will be to have either individual training and or small groups of girls, maybe 3 to 5 at the most at any given time. Up here you can see how we've designed the markings on the turf that would be laid down. There's essentially 3 training areas. So, at the most there may be at busy times, 10 to 12 girls and a few coaches working in the different training areas at the facility, but no more than that.
And when you say a few coaches, what does that look like?
Well, the facility will be managed and run by Windy City and Katie and her staff, who are also the coaches. So, you're working on essentially dribbling, passing, shooting, other skills training. Also, I have the luxury of my daughter is a goalie. So when we win a game 10-1, the only thing we talk about is the one goal that went in. Also goalie training, at the facility.
And as far as medical attention or, injuries or anything, how does that look?
Well, I would like to say, hopefully that won't happen, but it's inevitable.
It's sports.
It's sports, right. It's inevitable. All of Katie's coaches have appropriate certifications and training. We will also do a robust inspection in terms of what we need on site in order to facilitate any issues that arise there. We will also have, every sort of legal requirement that's required by the landlord in terms of liability documents and structure, that are commonplace these days.
Okay, and lastly, your working hours are 5 to 9, Monday through Friday?
So the girls in the club, some of which play in high school, are in school during the day. So primarily throughout the year, we're looking at using this facility, 5 to 9, and then on the weekends. The fall is the high school season in the local area. So from mid-August through mid-November, the facility will probably be used much less during the fall because a majority of the girls will be, practicing for high school. So we expect the use of the facility to be at times outside normal business hours of operation.
Okay, excellent. And if I can, Katie, impressive. I want to start a team and sign you up. Thank you so very much. It seems like you're very skilled and detailed and prepared for anything that may have happened throughout the entire process. So thank you both. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Evening.
Thank you very much for the thorough presentation. That makes our job and life a lot easier. I just had one question. Is this exclusively for the Windy City players, or do you plan on, not subletting, but letting other field hockey programs use this facility?
Yeah, so there are only 2 field hockey programs in the Chicagoland area, Windy City and an Evanston-based club called Rise. Right now, this will be exclusively used by Windy City. It also may be used at time for training by some of the girls who play in high school, most of which play for Windy City. So that is the plan right now. We do not plan to sublease the space. This will not be a, quote, open gym where girls or other people can just stop by. There will be no other sports allowed in here baseball, soccer, et cetera, because there is a possibility that certain athletic shoes that are worn cleats with studs will damage the polygrass surface. So we plan to be quite rigid in terms of restricting the use for its intended purpose.
What about other area high schools that may catch wind of this practice facility and approach you
Yeah.
about using it?
Well, fortunately, I said most of the high schools in the area, a core of their girls or a majority of their girls play for Windy City. So they would have access to specialized and individual training through Katie and the Windy City staff. In terms of subletting the space, exclusively to, another high school, it doesn't fall within our intended purposes of use.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I just want to say bravo to Katie for all your accomplishments. It's wonderful. Thank you.
you.
That's all I have.
Commissioner Smart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I'll echo what my colleagues said. Thank you very much for the presentation. Very impressive credentials and very impressive plan here. I really only have one question by way of clarification. Is this proposal, does it supplement where the girls already practice for Windy City? Where do they practice for Windy City now?
Well, do you want to come up, Katie, and talk about the challenges the hoops you jump through to line up practice space?
Yeah, so.
Okay, I will need to swear you in.
Oh, sure.
Do you swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Yes.
And state your name and address, please.
Yes, Katie Beach. I'm at 1004 Western Avenue in Northbrook.
Thank you.
Yeah, so field hockey is, like Patrick said, a niche sport. And with the area, there's, turf fields are hard to find, and we can't play on grass. If we play on grass, it's like just very unpredictable. And the way our ball rolls on a certain surface indicates or dictates how the game is played. So when you transition to go to the indoor season, which is basically when the weather is poor, like November through end of March, we find ourselves having to find indoor space because of temperatures, because of weather, and finding indoor space is very difficult in the area, just the north shore of Chicago. So we have a few hours at the Willow Hill Dome. We have hours at North Shore Sports Center. We used to be up at the Highland Park Bubble before they took that down, so we do use that space, in Libertyville at the Canlan Sports. So we use that for team training, which is once or twice a week. We go there with big groups, our teams, and we train there. This would be,
Individual skills.
individual specialized training for those interested. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you both. This is a tremendous opportunity that you're providing these girls. Thank you.
Commissioner Hyken.
Yeah, I'll echo what everybody said. Thank you for all that you've accomplished. I think Wheeling is very lucky to have you here, and I wish you nothing but the best and good luck.
Great. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I assume you're going to be padding those columns?
Yes, sir. And walls, and we are starting the process now. The lease, effectuation of the lease is contingent upon us receiving approval of the special use permit. So we are now starting the process of essentially looking at all of the measures modifications that we have to make to the space, which don't change any of the structure or integrity of the space, but things like padding around the poles, cages around the exit signs, other things that you wouldn't normally think to do in really an office or commercial space, but are essential in a space like this.
All right. I think that's all I had. Steve, could you go over the conditions?
Yes, the conditions, there are 4 of them, and it's just to, provide some insurances just for the operations to stay as proposed. So first being a minimum of 1 employee shall be on site at all times. That can include coach or any of the other staff of Windy City Field Hockey. 2, this facility shall be used exclusively for personal field hockey training. No unrelated activities, parties, or events shall be permitted. 3, all activities shall be conducted entirely within the indoor facility. And 4, a wheeling sign permit shall be required prior to the installation of any exterior signage of the subject property that is not an exempt sign. So any, permanent wall sign, anything like that would require a permit first.
Does this type of operation require a business license too?
In this case, we would issue a business license because it is a private entity that is locating within a commercial space or non-residential space. So it would just be essentially a club business license.
Yeah, I've submitted the application for that this
Okay,
week.
great. Any other questions? Then I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Smart and Heiken. Commissioner Smart.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
All right. We will follow up, myself or Marcy will follow up with you on the village board, the next village board meeting to get this formally approved.
I've heard from Marcy, who, God bless her, communicating with me from the Mayo Clinic, has informed me Monday, the 21st.
Yes.
I will be here for that meeting.
Great.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. We appreciate it.
luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we need a motion to close 25-009.
So move.
Second.
Heiken and Riles. Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Smart.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right, next up, we have a variation request and site plan approval for the same petitioner. We'll start with the public hearing docket. It's PV 25-001, request for a variation to permit a reduction in the minimum green space requirement from 25% to 15% for Caps Plumbing and Sewer, Inc., 160 West Hintz Road. Mr. Secretary?
Caps Plumbing and Sewer Incorporated is seeking a variation as required under Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19-07, Industrial Districts and Associated Sections to permit a reduction in the minimum green space requirement from 25% to 15% for the property located at 160 West Hintz Road. A zoning variation is intended to be a method of adjustment to equalize regulations where the zoning code has created an unnecessary hardship. A variation is designed to allow affected property owners the same rights and privileges that others enjoy in the same zoning district. In order to be granted a variation, a petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the request meets the standards of the village code, including, but not limited to, how their individual situation is unique or unusual. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that the request for variation meets the standards established in Title 19. The commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you. Steve, anything?
Yes, the petitioner, Caps Plumbing, is proposing a minor site plan, site improvements to create some additional impervious surface area within the west rear of the property to provide some more maneuvering, as well as to construct some material storage bins that they need to create this space for. As part of that, it would reduce the site's green space down to 15%. The minimum required by code is 25. The site is currently at roughly about 17.7%, so already under, but the site was built under pre-existing regulations, and therefore there wasn't this regulation at the time. So this would just formalize the reduction to what it would be now at 15%. Again, staff has reviewed both the standards for the variance as well as the minor site plan and appearance requests and recommend approval of both of those. And there are 2 conditions related to the minor site plan and appearance item.
Now, their letter states it's 15.5%.
Yeah, we decided to go to just the 15 just in case there's some, impervious creep or
In case some of the
something.
grass doesn't
Ex-
grow?
Well, in case there's some adjustments, it gives them some flexibility, and at that point, rather than having to come back and amend.
Want to make sure all the Ts were crossed.
Yes.
All right, this is a public hearing again, so please raise your hand. And do you swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Yes.
And state your name and business address, please.
Joe Capitosto, 160 West Hintz Road, Wheeling, celebrating our 30th year in Wheeling in November.
Congratulations.
The thing is having the grass space behind our bins right now, which is about 38 feet, and it's pie-shaped, comes down to about 8, okay? When we bought the building, we didn't meet the code, okay? The runoff problem with MWRD, because all of our storm goes into retention behind us. The retention overflow is on my property. Outside my fence, my property line goes beyond the overflow creek, okay? But it's my property. If you guys, I don't know if you drove past the building.
Many times.
Yeah. If you look on the west side of the building, you can now see the building because they had trees growing 60 feet in the air. MWRD, in their drainage ditch, never bothered once to clean it, cut it down, okay? It looked horrible, okay? So I talked to Jeff Wolfgram, and I said to him, I said, well, why don't they maintain this? He goes, it's because it's yours. I said, what do you mean it's mine? I said, I'm paying tax on something I can't use. I couldn't put my fence over it. I said, let me fill it in, okay, and I'll pipe through it. And at least I could use the land. He goes, can't do that. I said, well, then I'm gonna make it better looking. I spent 10 grand on cutting trees down. Does it look better? Absolutely, it looks better. So now you can see me, you know, long before you get to the railroad tracks, you can see the whole side of the building, okay? The yard is tight right now. For me to get deliveries in that yard, these guys have to back in through the front parking lot and come through the gate. It's tough, okay? The garbage man doesn't have enough room to turn around. Recycle guy, same thing, okay? MWRD, we waited for them to get back to us on how much water the retention can take. And when the guy got the numbers of how much surface I was covering, he kind of laughed. He says, it's like a drop. He says, we could take all you could give me off that 5,000 square feet of, you know what I mean? So it's not huge, not huge. It'll make a big difference to us, okay? Just the, you know, accessibility, okay? So, you know, I'm not going anywhere, okay? I did this building for my kids. I didn't do it for me. If it was for me, I would have retired, okay? But they all need a job, okay? So that's why they're there, okay? And they're gonna be there long after I'm gone, I can tell you that much. So, you know, we put our first year in, we did about 700,000 improvements on the building. So, you know, and I was lucky enough to get the 6B, you know, and they wanted me to spend 500 over 10 years. I said, well, I told Ross, I said, well, I spent 700 the first year, okay? But it's exactly what we want now. So, but, you know, we're even thinking about down the road, because we have a flat roof, all the roof head drains. We do a lot of hydrojetting. Each machine takes about 450 gallons a day. We're thinking about grabbing that roof water, okay? Storing it, putting it into the machines,
Sure.
okay? But it's a lot of water, okay? So if we fill the machines, we pay for the water, but we also pay for the sewer. Well, that water's getting towed out of the building. So it's a pretty big expense, you know, when you're doing that much. we just did a separation, because it's really two buildings with a fire door. It's got a 140 address, but it doesn't exist anywhere, okay? They had a 2-inch water service feeding the building for both sides. Well, when we went to go fill a jetter in the back off of a 2-inch line, the offices had no water. So we split the fire service, put another 3-inch main in to feed the 160 building, and kept the 2-inch for the 140 building. So now, I mean, everything else is split, electric, gas, it's all split. So why not have water too? So we just got done doing that.
All right. Well, we'll see if we have any questions up here. Commissioner Heiken, let's start that end.
Thank you. I don't have any real questions. I think this makes a wrong, makes it right for you. And I appreciate you sticking around, doing the
Yeah.
improvements that you've done.
Yeah, it's home, it's where we're at, okay? So we're not going nowhere.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smart.
I don't have any questions either. Thank you very much for the presentation and for your many, many years in Wheeling. I wish you
Yes.
continued success.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. So you're going to be approximately, I see there's a 12 kV circuit from ComEd running along that side also. You're going to be approximately, according to the prints, around 16 feet away. And I just wanted to remind you that if you're going to be putting up 24-foot light poles, fencing, and moving those,
Well,
resetting
the fence is
those,
existing.
you have to move the fence out, though? No?
I was going up to it. We're gonna
Oh,
keep
okay.
probably about an 8-10 inch space
Okay.
with a curb. Okay.
And then resetting those concrete blocks?
I'm just gonna move them back.
Yeah. You use a boom for that, or
I got
forklift, or
an end loader.
end loader?
Yeah.
Oh. Just be careful if you have something up in the air over in that area.
No, it's a lot higher than what I'm gonna be.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
Right.
Thanks.
Commissioner Riles.
Thank you. Joe, thank you, sir. Thank you for being here for 30 years. And a good neighbor, a good tenant. Just, you sound like you have a pretty good operation going for yourself.
Yeah, it's getting better every day. We're never satisfied. We're always growing it. We're always making it better. So hopefully in the spring, we're gonna start a training class for Wheeling and Buffalo Grove High School.
Okay.
We're gonna bring seniors in where they get credited classes, okay? And work them and then graduate them and then give them apprenticeships for the ones that can pass the test for it at the end. Because the trade, there's nobody going into trade. Nobody. And trying to hire quality help, it's harder to get the bad habits out of them than to train a guy who knows nothing. Because then there's no bad habits. So that's our goal, for the training center. We have a classroom that holds 40. So we could teach them the right way and give them a career. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build our own.
Great.
Well, good.
So,
That's very good.
yeah,
Thank you so very much. And if I can ask, how many kids do you have?
I got 4 kids and now 7 grandkids.
Okay, well, keep them rolling because you've built a fantastic foundation. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
No other questions. Thank you.
All right, and I think my questions have been answered, so we have no conditions on this one, correct?
Not on the variance, correct?
So, if there's no other questions, a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Smart and Heiken. Commissioner Smart.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Chairman Johnson.
Yes. And we have to close Public hearing for PV 25-0001.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Smart?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. All right, next up is PSP MIN 25-0006.
Nope,
Oh.
Not done, okay.
What?
real quick.
Oh,
Yeah, you may, are you done? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if anything else was to be said.
request for minor site plan and appearance approval for the construction of material storage bins for Caps Plumbing and Sewer, Inc. at 160 West Hintz. I don't think there's any additional info
No, nothing further.
and conditions on this one?
Yeah, it's just two conditions.
All right, let's have those now.
The first one is just that the approval of the minor site plan and appearance is contingent upon the variance petition docket PV 25-001, which will allow for the reduction in the green space. And two, that the petitioner shall apply for and receive all necessary village permits from the community development and engineering divisions prior to construction.
Okay, so one of those is already taken care of.
Yep.
Provided the village board.
Yes.
Okay. Knowing what we know on this, are there any questions on the site plan? Either way? Then we can go right to a motion.
So moved?
Second.
Smart and Heiken. Commissioner Smart?
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Chairman Johnson?
Yes. All right.
Now
all
you're
set,
done.
Sir.
All right, thanks,
Good luck.
folks.
Good luck.
to you.
Appreciate it. Call me when you need a plumber.
Okay, next up, we have approval of minutes of the regular meeting of June 25th, 2025, including the finding of facts for docket number PSU 25-0008.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yep.
Commissioner Smart?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. Other business. Steve, you got anything?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay.
No.
Oh, come on.
I didn't see any public hearings for the next meeting.
No. Right now, there's no public hearings. We may have a couple other items, but we're monitoring it at the moment.
All right. Commissioner Riles, do you have any?
I don't. Thank
any
you.
other business? Commissioner Sprague?
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Smart?
Nothing for you today, Mr. Chairman.
And Commissioner Heiken?
Sorry, I have nothing either.
All right, so nothing is happening. Well, we still have an opening on the Plan Commission if anyone in our vast television audience is interested. Application form is on the village website. And with that, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.